Okay, as soon as I get that, but we can talk about it after the show.
Okay.
Uh, 9 minutes ago, has it started?
No, it just started now.
All right. Sharing it. Hey, it looks like Facebook changed the way watch parties you can play them.
Wait, what do you mean?
You can only share it in a group.
Oh, that's not cool.
Interesting. I don't have to do. Okay, who do you want? Can you start the show? I'm not seeing video, Mark.
Yeah, I was waiting.
What was that?
I was waiting.
Oh, go start the video.
We're here.
Because they're getting audio. You know they're getting audio, right?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I had this. Something happened to the audio for the beginning.
Hey, you guys, thanks for coming. Sorry we're a few minutes late. This is what happens when you take like a month in between show episodes. You get a little rusty. But thanks for coming. We have an amazing show for you tonight. And I mean amazing. So we have two great guests. StormCrow, Dreamers Talking to Dreamers. Of course, Jade. My name is Jade. That's my co-host, Mark Potter. And of course, Lola.
Hi, Lola.
And it's episode 27, man. Wow, that's getting up there. That's pretty cool for something me and Mark started. That's a lot of episodes, Mark.
It is. It is a lot of episodes.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool. What have we been doing? Like a year, maybe?
Actually,
9 months, 10 months.
October was our 1 year anniversary.
Oh wow!
October 5th.
Anniversary episode soon. I think next episode we'll call it the anniversary.
Everybody is on.
But anyway,
everybody we had is on.
Oh, stop!
A conglomerate of people.
Don't get crazy. Couldn't even fit that many people on you.
Actually, it is possible.
Okay, come on. Hey, you guys, who do you want to bring in first, Mark? Let's get this.
Let's bring in Shannon.
Hey, Shannon Murray just won Best Stunt Woman at AOF. She's done just an insane amount of awesome things. She's a model, stunt woman, actress, producer, etc., etc. Just a universal kick-ass on whatever she decides to focus on. So let's bring in Shannon Murray. Hey, Shannon. Sorry.
Hey.
Probably almost falling asleep there. We got on our little, artist. We started going on a little tirade and and then Facebook changed. I pay attention. I don't do watch parties except for these, but they changed the way you can share one. The only option it was given me is share it in a group.
Oh. Hey guys.
Yeah. But anyway, awesome to have you. Let's bring in our other guest, Mark, and get the shindig thing rolling.
All right, cool. Yeah, I've never done one of these, so this is my first time.
That's funny because we're kind of acting like this is our first time too. So. It's called Rest, I think. Hey, Mark, are you bringing in our other guest?
Yeah, I'm just putting in her.
Let's bring in Coxy, guys. Coxy's an amazing woman. She has a amazing history from fashion to film to all of those things, working in the industry in both of those realms. She's trying to do her own feature film right now, and she has a great fundraiser that's picking up steam and doing great things. And I look forward to seeing her opportunity to direct and produce a film. Anyway, hello, Coxy. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So let's get right into it, okay? I'm going to start with Shannon. Shannon, what is a project you've done in the last 2 or 3 years that you were very passionate about, excited about?
Well, I just about 3 years ago, I found a script. I was ready to just kind of take it by the horns and make my own project. And so I started looking for scripts and found what was then called Fighting Nora. We later retitled Ragdoll, and so we've been traveling around with that for this whole last year. It's a
is that the one that was at AOF?
Yeah, that was the one that was at AOF.
Yes, and Shannon won Best Superwoman
Stunt performer
at the festival, Best Stunt Woman. But that is kind of like Superwoman. She basically, especially at action. If you're not familiar with action on film, they've been there for a long time. When they were in LA, they were probably the second largest as far as volume of films, all that kind of stuff. In LA, I think maybe only the Los Angeles Film Festival is probably a little bit bigger. And then they decided they wanted to be the kings of their own ring, Dell and them, and moved to Vegas so that they were the biggest festival on, and that's what they are, because they have like 10 festivals all under one umbrella or something like that.
Yeah, there were a lot of them, which was cool because you had so many mixes of people all in one place, and you're seeing so many different.
You do. Mark actually went and then couldn't find where the festival was.
About that.
And then I said, and not at any time who I'm friends with Dell, because he was sending emails to Dell, but during that time period, Dell doesn't answer that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Busy.
I found that one out.
And I'm like, not any time during that moment would you think JD is friends with Dell and could probably get a hold of Dell and figure it out for you. But no, he just roamed. Him and his Alex, his magnificent lady, roamed around Vegas looking for.
Hey, it was cool. I mean, we were there. We were there because we both.
But anyway, but Shannon, you won. I know, man. I know. It's a story. But Shannon, what else did that film win more awards on top of that? There, film, or your award as the stunt person?
Well, we just got back from Chelsea Film Festival. We took away Best Actress for myself, and then Best.
Yeah, because you're the act. You were in the category of that. You were the lead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the lead, and you did your own stunt since you were winning stunt stuff.
Yeah, I did all my own stunts. I really wanted the audience to kind of, and you get to really feel the director and editor really slowed everything down, so you see everything, you hear everything. Our sound design was fantastic, and I've seen it 1,000 times and I still squirm in my seat because they did such a good job of.
Well, and if it's too difficult to capture right, you can also use judicious uses of slow-mo, which means you can literally shoot it like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's very cool. I would love to see it sometime. Give me a link, and then please give Mark a link, and he will share that link if you have any like trailers or.
Yeah, our trailer's up on our website, and then we have some good news. We signed with Gravitas Ventures last week, and they're at AFM with it this weekend. So we'll have hopefully some more good news.
You guys are at AFM. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, Gravitas is taking it to AFM.
You mean someone's with the film? They're trying to push it for distro. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So we got distribution with Gravitas, and they're going to try to meet with.
Very, very cool. Yeah, the producer I mentioned is there with Blade and Blood right now in the script. So yeah, it's a great place. I mean, they do over $1 billion in deals there every year. So
yeah.
But anyway, Coxy.
Hello.
Coxy, I know you got a lot going on, and we're going to get in the present. We're going to tackle what your main passion is right now, and we'll be doing that soon. But in the past, the last 3 years, what was something you worked on or did that you thought was awesome?
Well, I've worked a lot. Coming from the world of fashion, I worked a lot on fashion films, so that's what got me into writing and directing.
But I think you said you shoot them kind of like a music video, right?
No, I did not.
Oh, I thought I saw you in a paragraph or responding to someone's commentary or something like that on one of your posts.
Oh no, no, I've never
Where are
done.
you? The other guy.
Okay, no, I've never done music videos. Mainly fashion films or short, narrative branded content, but with a narrative aspect to it. And I think that the project that I've done in the last 3 years that I'm most proud about is probably this short fashion film we've done with the brand Guess, and it went to a lot of different film festivals. It won 3 awards, and it was a blast. It was really fun, and especially
cool.
working with a brand like Guess, because it has such a story, a tradition.
Very cool. And earlier I meant that you kind of shoot them like you would a music video, is what I meant to say. Which you have music going on, and you're using movement to kind of.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like my style in filmmaking encompasses like all types of arts. So I love researching music. And it's very sophisticated in a way. I like.
I just shot.
I like taking care of every detail. Mm-hmm.
I shot both. I've shot music videos and I've shot film, and I think that your stuff, even though you're probably looking at it like a fashion, it came across as very like a fashion music video, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. It
looked
could be.
It looked like I shot at 3 aces and.
Wait, and Shannon, I couldn't hear some of what you're saying.
I was saying I really liked the music or the commercial for Guess. It looked awesome. I think they shot it like 4 aces.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're in Palmdale. Yeah. It's such a popular location. Right?
Yeah, you both are very brilliant. And I think having what I've found in life is when you bring a multiple background of creativity to then something new, it gives you way more of a unique voice, original voice in that realm. Like you have an insane amount of fashion and creating in that world that you just now bring to film, and then to me it gives you an interesting voice. Plus you've been on sets, worked on, so you understand the actual practical structure of how sets work, and you know what I mean, as opposed to just creativity itself. Creativity usually has to bend a little bit to fit in the reality of like a set and budget and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it makes you unique. It makes you have a beautiful original voice. And then the same thing with Shannon. Shannon does the comes from that ability of that athleticism and all that kind of stuff, and other creative pursuits that you bring. When I see people come into the industry having those kind of like multiple backgrounds before they go into film, to me it provides a lot of very beautiful energy with their own creations or what they bring and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, an example of that I like to follow a lot is Tom Ford. Like he was a huge fashion designer and everything, and now he's done a couple of films that to me are really, really beautiful. So I kind of like his path.
Well, you'll have to link some of both works for Mark. And,
yeah, sure.
Put it attached to this video.
Absolutely.
Point people for multiple reasons at the video. But no, very beautiful, very beautiful. Let's drop to Shannon real quick, and then we're going to come back and hit your passion project, Coxy, that you're working on right now.
Okay.
Shannon, what is something currently you're striving for, working on? I know you have the script. The film you already mentioned is trying to get distro through AFM. What is a current project you're working on right now?
Well, so mostly focused on, a lot of my focus has been on Ragdoll this whole last year, and I think we're finally done with festivals and whatnot, which is nice. And Dell had actually come to me with a script that is really great. It's called Abby's Hands, and it's a faith-based dark comedy, I would say.
Would it be Dell directing, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dell's a great wordsmith.
Mm-hmm.
And a great director. He's got his own very unique style of, he likes a lot of closes, and it's a very unique way of shooting. But Dell's a great guy, and a beautiful spirit. So I would look at the script. If he wrote the script, it's probably pretty good.
He did. He did a really good job of creating amazing characters. They're got a lot of
He's
depth.
very good at dialogue.
Yeah, he's great with dialogue. Yeah, there's a lot of great funny beats and emotional moments. He did a really good job.
Well, the way he talks, most writers are, his dialogue as a person can be very verbose and colorful. So
yeah, it's fantastic. So I've got that coming up next year.
what's the thematic of that?
What do you mean? Like, because it's like a.
Well, knowing Dell, it's probably action. So is it like action horror, action,
It's more
action current drama?
No, it's more of a drama, dark comedy. It's a faith-based film, so it's got a great message that comes with it. So it's good. It's a really great film.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It'll probably be something different for you then, right?
Yeah, it'll be great. I haven't had the opportunity to do a faith-based film.
Well, coming from also your action kind of heavy stunt type film.
Yeah, well, definitely coming from Ragdoll, but you know, I've had other dramatic roles in the past, but this would be the first leading role in a feature to where I get to be a fragile character that's not, you know. Like,
Well, I don't know how fragile you can get, but still, you're pretty much very strong. You exude a lot of strength. So, you know, that's called acting. You can exude that strength into weakness.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
then.
Okay, Coxy. What about you? What is a current project? You know what? Let me rephrase that. Let everybody know the intense, passionate project you're currently working on. You are doing so well with raising funding for, and we're going to put that link in this. In fact, Mark, can you? What is the link?
Well, the link is theimperfectpicture.film.com. I can put it later if you want.
Is it in that email is it part of the email that you sent me?
I think so. Yeah, it must be in the signature. Yes. Okay. So yeah, it's it's a short art house film. It's a dramedy, and the thematic, it talks about embracing imperfection as a way to create authentic human connections. So, you know, since we live in a world where everybody's on social media, on a phone, trying, you know, to showcase sort of a perfect life, this is the story of a woman who is an outsider and who's just like a normal person that doesn't really have a life on social media or thousands of followers. And, you know, she's just...
the misfit.
Yeah, the misfit, like the little black sheep in a way, but it's just a reflection on you know, what's meaningful in life, and you know, do we need to be perfect, or can we just embrace our imperfections and be human and share that with people around us instead of trying to be perfect all the time? So
I agree, yeah, because that's what people are bombarded with all the time, is like,
yes,
it is perfection.
Yeah,
people like bashing someone because they did an off-color email 10 years ago, or an off-color tweet, what to call it, 10 years ago, and they'll bring it up now, and it's like, because I think it's what you're exactly talking about is everything has to be perfect, even though that's completely not reality, because everything in reality is imperfect.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
and I think that's the beauty of it, you know, it's just like,
it's like a false narrative that they
And I think that's the beauty of it. I think just imperfection is more interesting, because like otherwise we would be so stereotyped and so boring in general. So that's what I'm raising funds for right now. The campaign is on Sidens Park, and we're
I think we both
through.
shared the link to the website.
Yeah, perfect. And
well, everyone out there, if you want to support talented artists, like I'm telling you, I have researched both of these ladies as far as what they've accomplished and all those kind of things. Watched an interview of Coxy's, watching stuff that Shannon's done, and it's they're both very brilliantly talented. So whatever they're doing, you want to be a part of. So feel free to please send some money,
a little pledge,
some kind of support.
I'm adding
Coxy. Go ahead.
Adding Sidens Park, the fundraiser on as the actual link, since it's got the video on it.
Oh, yeah, sure. That would be great. So it talks more about the project. Very cool. Thank you.
Cool. And then Same thing with Shannon. If you guys have a great, amazing role you think needs a dynamic powerhouse to bring it to life, or if you want to help her get involved with her own thoughts and creations and projects that she wants to do, then feel free to link up with that. Now let's go on to the future. We're going to start with Coxy this time. So Coxy, what is something in the next few years you would love to get done and accomplish that you think would be beautiful?
Well, I have well, this one for sure. I want to bring it to life and accomplish that first. And I also wrote a feature film. It's that is I think my next step. Right now I'm just submitting it for review here and there. I just finished it, so it's kind of at the beginning of its journey.
Well, if you ever think I can help in any way, if you need me to look at the writing or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I will send it to you. Mm-hmm.
I'm always about helping other people. That's the main this show was. I didn't really need to do the show, but I for a long time we've only been able to accomplish it with technology. What we're trying to do in the last couple of years, but for like 10 years, I wanted to do a show where I bring on other artists, other actors, other whatever, and then give them that moment to shine. So same thing when I was in a band for a long time. In a band, when you write songs, you always have to leave, or at least I always felt. I always say film's a team sport. So the same thing with like a band. When I was writing songs, I always had to leave pockets for every single other musician to like have their spotlight, to have their little moments where it was all about them. And I always try to do that in all things. And so I think it's always a beautiful thing to do.
Yep.
So let's so the feature, is it a feature version of what you're trying to do, or is it a feature version of... No,
it's completely different from what I'm doing now. It's another thing.
What's the theme?
Another project. It's set in Paris of the 1920s, and it's the story of this young girl, very pure and innocent, that is basically rediscovering her sexuality and her senses. And
that's around the time of Henry Miller and Anais Nin, isn't it?
What?
Henry Miller and Anais Nin.
Yeah, I mean, sort of.
What is it? They made a movie on it. It was a great love affair. Henry Miller is an amazing American author. One considered one of the greatest. Very, to me, kind of boring in the beginning, but he flourished at the end of every chapter, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And then he had a love affair with a woman, a poet. That most of Anais Nin's erotica is what the Red Shoe Diaries is based on.
Okay. Well, I think the style of mine would be more like, Bertolucci or the French directors. Since I'm Italian and I'm, European, it's kind of gonna have like more of a European vibe in that sense.
Very cool.
Yep.
Thank you. No, I was just talking about that because that's the time period that they had that love affair in Paris. So Paris, I'm sure in the 1920s depicted would be amazing. So.
Yeah.
Claire, I know most people know what American 1920s, 30s looks like. You got the bowler hats, the slick back hair, stuff like that. But I'm sure France had their own entire.
Yeah, I think that one of the main differences is that, like, I feel like in the US that time people could not drink, and whereas in France and in Europe, like, there was a little bit more freedom of expression. And it was a time where women were really trying to speak their voice and find, it was kind of the beginning of feminism and all that stuff. And so, women were very free at that time, or they were freeing themselves at least. So it's interesting. It's an interesting time period that I feel in a way matches a lot what's happening right now, and especially after the Me Too movement and everything. So it's
we can talk about that if you guys want in the second half. I think there was a amazing, beautiful things having to do with the Me Too movement, and then I also think there's a few that are trying to take advantage of that. But
I agree.
But it was kind of like, to me, how feminism was too. Feminism had amazing ideals, amazing like goals of what it wanted to do, but then you had like a few people kind of bend it a little bit. So but anyway, So that's the feature is kind of, is it more dramatic love or artsy?
It's more, dramatic. Yeah, it's more of a drama.
But I'm sure probably the way you're going to shoot it is probably very stylistic. So
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
yeah, I'm sure it will be.
Yeah, it's
very
very
cool.
visual. Everything is very visual. So
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
imagine. And then colors and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I can imagine what you're probably big on. I'm very big on lighting, like noir. I like shadows on everything. Shadows make everything look cool. But I can tell with as fashion, you probably it's color and texture.
Yeah, textures, details.
Yeah.
Yep.
You
Scenario.
watch Leone. Leone to me was like the master of details, man. Sergio. He was good, bad, and the ugly, all that kind of stuff. But if you look at the details behind everything he shot, like the little tumbleweed rolling through it's very amazing. But anyway, Shannon, so what is a future project coming up that in the next 2 or 3 years you just think is kick booty and you're very excited about?
Some friends and I, we started writing a feature to sci-fi action, and basically it's, where there's space travel is more developed, and there are, colonies throughout our universe, but there's also like the no man's land where there's no rules, and because it takes too long to get there, so it's kind of a no holds bar area past this certain belt, and what craziness ensues out there, and then the journeys to get to there, and why people would want to go there.
I mean, kind of the look of that one that they just tried to do, or at least art deck wise, that The Expanse.
The Expanse. The show, The Expanse.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the art deck feel. The feeling I was getting as you were describing it was that kind of same kind of thing you saw in The Expanse with these stations and like that kind of still got some old school look to it, but like still sci-fi-ish.
Yeah, definitely. The Expanse was amazing. They did a really great job with that show.
Yeah, I was just getting the same image of that art deck and that kind of look thing they did in what you were describing.
Yeah, so it's like we would want that kind of look, but that look is very expensive. They put some good money in that show, so we're gonna create it and continue creating that world, building that world, and see where we can take it.
To me, it's always about like even if we do Blade and Blood, it'll probably be under $1 million budget, but it's sci-fi, post-apocalyptic. It kind of like Sin City meets Blade Runner kind of thing. But to me, what creates any worlds for me, even when you're low budget, like the original Blade Runner wasn't a huge budget, I don't think, is costuming and art set deck. And I mean, that's where most of our money is going to go to. That's like literally the what creates your world. You know what I mean? So it's basically all the characters and costuming and all that kind of stuff. So set deck, art deck. But very, very, very cool. You guys have a lot of projects. I'm sure you're only tipping the iceberg on revealing what you actually have laid out and things you want to do. So.
There's always something. I'll be at my real job, and luckily one of my writing partners, we work together. So we'll be doing something that we really don't want to be doing, and so we'll just spark up a storyline and we're like, hey, what do you think about this storyline? And we'll just riff off each other, and we'll just so we're
very cool.
Just going.
Yeah, you always got to create.
Yeah.
If you're a creative person, and I'm sure Coxy will agree, if you're a creative person, you always got to be creating something.
Oh yeah, it's like a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, I mean, I like literally, I have to have like a book to read at all times, or I don't. But literally, I only read it for like 5-10 minutes here and there, in between creating something or doing other things. So I hear you. It's like a constant. You need to. That etherical thread and needle need to be moving. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what we're going to do right now, you guys, we're going to take a little 5-minute break, get everybody a chance to go get a beverage, go to the restroom, for me to take Lola out real quick. for Mark to try to salvage his lightsaber. All these things are highly important aspects of life. So we're going to be back in 5. Wait, Lola, come here. Be back in 5 minutes, you guys. Stay tuned as far as my guest. Just don't turn off stay in the link. He'll run the video, and then we'll come back in 5 minutes. And then, as I think I already gave you the question, but I'll say it again. First question when we get back: what is the best film or TV series, if you want, in the last 2 or 3 years you've watched, and why? Okay?
Just one?
Out there, you've been watching StormCrow, Dreamers, talking to dreamers. As always, keep dreaming and come back in 5. Can you say come back in 5, Lola? See you in 5.
So thank you guys for watching, everyone who's tuned in so far.
Yeah, bless you.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm trying to find. What happened? Oh, fuck. Oh, I'm trying to find. The audio file. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Uh-huh. Where did I get that? Oh, shit, where did I get it? Yeah.
What you did with Christine.
Huh.
Went like this. And that's when she was stretching so they could see her muscles.
Well, what happened to it?
That's not what you used to create.
What was it?
I don't remember. It wasn't that.
Ah, shit. Sound bottle?
What was so funny to me?
Huh?
What was so funny to me?
Ah, you keep.
You had to like mix different sounds and then they had to send it to you.
Yeah, but I can't remember who I got it from.
You didn't answer my question though.
What?
What was so funny to me?
I can't remember.
this or something. He must have all seen it. Lazy Dad or something like that. Remember? Search MP3 as well. Remember the company.
Oh, this is not good.
That's not what you were looking for. Saved it somewhere.
And it shattered.
No,
Ah,
sorry.
Did you finally turn your sound back on, Mark?
yeah. I've been trying to find that Crow audio file that I paid for a long time ago when we first started this. I deleted it.
Crow?
I deleted it.
Oh, the Crow. Yeah. So I told you just to take it from my short films. All my short films have sound of lightning and
I need
it's called StormCrow Production, StormCrow Show.
right, but I need the audio file, not.
It's okay. It's fine. Are we back on? We're back on, right?
We're back on.
Okay, you guys. So let's start with Shannon. And thanks you guys for that break and coming back and still watching us, or those that will watch us in the future, or those that were watching and then stopped watching and then are going to start watching. And we'd like to thank all of you beautiful spirits. And if you have a project you want to push, and you want to be on StormCrow, just send me a message. I'll do my best to try to accommodate you. Shannon, what is your answer to what is the best film you've seen in the last 2 or 3 years and why?
That's a very hard question, as I'm sure you know. There's a lot of great television on.
Can you lean in a little bit? Because every time you fade away, your volume goes down.
Yeah, sorry.
There you go.
That's really hard. There's a lot of great shows. My current, I don't know, this year, I really I love action. I loved John Wick, the new one. It was great.
I love all of John Wick's.
Yeah, I didn't really like 2 as much, but loved 1, loved 3.
But they're always good stunts. They're always good, really tight film, a constant movement, which I'm a big fan of. I like kinetic energy.
Mhm.
I've always liked Keanu Reeves. So as an actor and outside of acting, he's a very amazing spirit. So he always exudes that, I think, in his films of like very likable. You like him.
Yeah, I agree. I would say like overall like movie though, I would say maybe Joker. Because
I still haven't seen that yet, but a lot of people were liking it.
I really liked it. Of course,
I have trouble with very slow-paced character studies.
I don't think it was slow paced. I thought it was no. I didn't know what I was going to be walking into, and I thought I was just going to be watching a villainous person the entire film, and I was hesitant to go, but I loved seeing this person turn into a villain. I thought it was I think it's the best.
No, I heard it's great, brilliant writing, brilliant story, award-winning type stuff, great acting, all that kind of stuff. I just don't know. I mean, there's great stuff out there that is just not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the whole superhero world. Everyone keeps telling me it was slow paced. You're the first person that said it wasn't slow paced. So.
I mean, I like dramatic films. I didn't feel that it was ever slow. I was in it the whole time. I enjoyed it.
And I love Joaquin Phoenix, great actor, brilliant actor.
He does an amazing job. I think maybe people were anxious to get the Joker I think that's maybe why they thought it was slow paced, because that's what I thought I was going to get going in, and I was glad that I didn't get it right away. I'm glad it like finally paid off. So I think people wanted that Joker character faster, but I don't think it's an origin story. He needed to become the Joker. So
No, and I hear you, and it's probably going to do brilliant at the award ceremonies.
Sure.
I am sure it will.
hands down.
Very, very cool. That's why the first person that said the Joker. For a while there, we've had in the last we've been
Get Out, Black Panther.
anniversaries, man. 1 year anniversary. Most we've ever had is like 5-6 times people said Black Panther
Or Get Out. Yeah.
or Get Out. Yeah, someone said Get Out. Yeah.
I mean, Black Panther is a lot of action, but I mean, it's like all of those films. They're not. We've seen that storyline. We've seen it. I don't know. It wasn't.
Yeah, I didn't say I thought that. I just said that we got that as an answer a lot.
And granted, I'll put it on the TV and I'll watch it in the background. I enjoy it, but it's like best movie. I don't know.
I enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought that they're when you're talking about like Legends of the Fall, to me is one of the better movies ever made. Like that was a brilliant film. It had characterization, depth, action, all of those things going on. The Big Lebowski, I think, is probably one of the best comedies ever made.
Yeah.
It was also way more than a comedy. It was drama, comedy, action. I mean, John Goodman falling out of a truck, the news in his hand, it has to be classified as action, man. I mean, that's, but dude, they peed on your rug, man. Anyway, but that's awesome, yeah. So, what about you, Coxy? What's a great film you've seen in the last couple of years that you thought?
Oh man, just one.
I know.
Yeah, it's hard to pick one. But I think I haven't watched The Joker yet. Last year was for sure Roma by Alfonso Cuarón. And I really enjoyed it.
I haven't seen it, but was that the one that some people said he did it like a piece of art?
In my opinion, it is a piece of art. Like it won 3 Oscars. So I mean,
it also caused controversy too.
Well, it caused controversy because I think people went to go to see kind of what they expected, an American straight linear film, and instead it was more of a bunch of vignettes, wasn't it?
No, it's a different thing, and the controversy, I think it was because it was a Netflix film, so it was it's been in theaters only.
Yeah, but they've done that every Oscars for the last 3-4 years. So. But
it was like a Netflix film, and it was an amazing film, and it won 3 Oscars, and it's just like a very human story, because it's a story about like a social worker that used to be his nanny back in the days in Mexico in the 70s in this neighborhood called Roma, and everything that was happening around it, like so the social movements and the political movements, and it's seen through.
So it's like a coming to life story.
Yes, and it's beautifully shot. It's I think it's an art house film, and that's the genre that I like a lot.
Well, that's what everyone was saying. That was the only criticism I saw, was people that don't like art house films that went and saw it then didn't like it, and their complaints were the type of people that don't watch art house films. So.
I mean, I loved it.
But people that love those kind of films, like one of the best ever done. So
yeah, and I mean, I love him as a director. I think he's done some great films in general. I love his work, and I really admire his work, and that was one. And this year, I have to say, probably so far my favorite has been Jojo Rabbit, that is out in theaters right now.
I heard of it.
It's just out in theaters right now. It's called Jojo Rabbit. It's by Taika Waititi, and it's a satire on it's a satire on anger, basically on hate, and it's the story of this little kid that has Hitler as his imaginary friend. So it's really fun. I think I love it because it touches every human emotion. Like, it makes you laugh, it makes you cry, it makes you angry, and it makes you think a lot, and it's fun. you know, it's just like one of those movies I just watched it and I want to watch it again because it made me feel good. So, and it's really well written and it's really well done and it's really interesting.
Again, sounds kind of that artsy type.
Oh yeah, it's definitely an artsy type, but that's my type, you know. So
Yeah, I see. Well, I'm seeing it, and then I can kind of relate to it in the sense that your background in fashion and stuff like that, which is very oriented because it's straight visual. And so,
well, yeah, and I mean, it's not always just about the visuals, because like another film that I really adored was The Peanut Butter Falcon this year, and it's very simple. It's shot with nothing, and it's just a very human story. So I really love films that talk about humanity, you know, like about people, that focus on people and their story, and about being human and being in this together. Basically, that's what I love.
Very cool. And there's a lot of people that love that. Like my mom loves those films, man.
Oh yeah.
My mom likes. Me, I need constant kind of kinetic movement in some way or another. But like I just watched Black and Blue, which I thought was interesting. I put it as a good film. I don't know yet. I'm still contemplating. I just watched this. I'm still contemplating whether it's a great film yet. You know what I mean? It was interesting. And it was shot more as a snippet of a very intense part of this lady's life who happens to be a cop. Yeah. And that's how they kind of shot it. You're not really getting a tied up story. You're not really getting the beginnings of a story. It alludes to many things you don't really know much about in the film of before without explaining them, and the after without explaining them. So it's more like just a snapshot. So that's interesting. And it was weird that I saw something in it that I'm kind of seeing a lot of, is a couple actors from the superhero stuff in the same non-superhero film. Like that 21 Bridges that's like being promoted right now. It's like the guy that plays Black Panther and the guy that plays Winter Soldier are the two actors in that film. The two, one's the protagonist, the other's the antagonist. And I'm like, wow, they're literally both straight from the Marvel film over there. And then I was watching Black and Blue, and it had the guy that plays Luke Cage in Marvel in it as the main villain. And it has the girl from the TV show Black Lightning that plays Thunder as like his girlfriend. And I was just like, man, I'm seeing a lot of I don't know, it's almost like a sociological piece, man, of like, because those are so popular, all those actors are getting a lot of opportunities. So they're being put in the same films, or because they're good in one film, they're just being taken in. I can't quite understand why I'm seeing like a lot of those right now.
People under it might be produced by the people under their umbrella. So they're just like, well, let's raise their popularity so that way people will come and watch our shows on Disney Plus and watch all the Marvel stuff.
Yeah, maybe. I just thought it was kind of weird where, like, especially 21 Bridges has been being pushed heavily. Like, and I'm like going, wait a minute, dude, that's like, it's Black Panther, it's Winter Soldier, except there
you also had Men in Black
in a city. You
had Men in Black as well.
Yeah, Men in Black again.
And Valkyrie.
You got and Valkyrie, the actress that plays Valkyrie, and the actress that plays Thor, and now the Men in Black. So that definitely is your theory right there, Shannon, as far as because that is Disney owned Men in Black.
They own everything.
Yeah. So they're just like basically an accountant said, marketing says you got to do this and put these people in this film and put these film.
Yeah, drive the number.
So very cool. So what's your question, Mark? I asked you to come up with a question. What's your question?
Well, if you could do anything else other than what you're passionate about, if you could do anything else, what would it be?
As opposed to film. You have to ask someone. Say you start.
Sorry. Coxy, what would you like to do? What would you do if this wasn't an avenue for you?
It's a very good question. I don't know. I don't really have an answer to that. I think it would still be something creative because I think that's my DNA.
I'm pretty sure it probably would be, yes.
Yeah, so whether it's I don't know, writing a book or painting, I don't know, I would still try to do something creative because that's my expression. But it's interesting because I have already transitioned from the fashion world where I was a designer, and then I transitioned into film. So I feel I would probably do something creative. So I don't know what yet because
Yeah, I'm with you, Coxy. If I didn't
Okay.
have the writing and film, I'd want to be a ballerina, just to let you know. I want to do my Swan Lake. That's what I want to do.
I think it wouldn't be music though, because like I've never really played any, anything, or I don't know how to sing. So definitely it's not gonna be music, although, I'm so passionate about music as well, but it's definitely not gonna be that.
Yeah, very cool.
Dan, how about
Do you
you?
like, so here's an offshoot question for both of you, and then we'll go to Shannon on her answer for Mark's question. Do you enjoy using composition or bands in film?
I think it depends on the project. It really depends on the project and what's I definitely love composition. I mean, I want to. I'd rather.
I assume with your artistic style that composition would probably be
Yeah,
what
definitely yes.
you're
But I also consider like getting a song from a band if it really matches the project. So
no, it's just a stylistic thing. There's neither one. Both of them have their strengths, so it's more stylistic as a filmmaker
yeah.
type thing. You know what I mean? Like my style is very graphic novel style. Well, it doesn't matter what kind of film I'm shooting. I'm going to shoot it, make it look like very graphic novel-y, kind of noir-esque style. So I like using band song because it fits that style.
Yeah.
Where I can imagine if you were coming at it from what I imagine you in the thing I saw earlier today is very artistic, creative, stylistic, more from that fashion background and that color palette. And I'd say your color palette is somewhat bright.
I think it's the mix of the details for me. It's just I think I'm someone who takes a lot care of details. So sounds, music,
Well, in composition, you can,
in everything, like framing, like everything. I just really take care of the details. Like details are very important to me.
True, and in composed music, you can do that better. You can go, I just need more anger, or I need more.
Yeah. Exactly.
This or that, as opposed to a song.
Yeah. But I'm not excluding songs. I mean, it's like if I find a song that is really good for what I'm doing, I would just consider
for a specific scene.
Yeah.
Shannon, what about you? And then we'll answer you the question that Mark asked.
I think it definitely depends on the film, and then like Ragdoll, we have a mix of both. So it just depends on what the scene calls for, or what.
Certainly, it doesn't need to be one or the other. It can be mixed.
Yeah, I think it just depends, and also what you have funding for, I guess.
True. So, I mean, we use composed music on, I think, Blade and Blood, the short film. And it sounded brilliant. And we've used composed music on a few of them, and then we've used bands on a lot of them. And I like both. Just like you said, it depends on the stylism of the film. But usually, what I do though is I go one or the other. But I'm Aquarius. I'm like that. So I go like if I do a film and it has got a band, and I do the whole film like that. If I do composing, then I do the whole film like that. You know what I mean? So,
all right.
But that's just I have like a Taurus ascendant, Aquarius sun, so that's very fixed. To make a decision, it's like I'm all over there or something like that. But anyway, very, very cool. So now, Shannon, answer Mark's question. What would you do if you weren't doing film?
Well, I love the outdoors. So, and being in LA, it's like there's not too much outdoors. You have to go like far to get to the mountains.
Yeah, I lived there for 8 years. Yeah, you have to kind of drive a little bit.
Yeah, so I don't know. I always thought like maybe a park ranger or something outdoors, to where I would just be in peace and quiet and tranquil, just help people, help others. And then
you can go to the canyons though. The canyons, there's some areas in the canyons up there.
Yeah, there's like, towards Big Bear and all that stuff, but it's just far. And I also would want to own I've always wanted to own a camp for kids, and like summer camp, like away camp, stay away camp, and like teach arts and teach sports and stuff.
Very cool. Yeah, I always wanted to have a clinic that would just like accept people for like whatever medical needs. They would try to do the best they could to like kind of like have like a $30-$40 per visit type thing.
We actually have that here in one of the cities.
It's very
They-
rare, and a lot of
they-
them are very race specific. I went to I had a friend go to one the other day, and it was all they had budgeted for was to try to help Hispanic people. So really, like, he wasn't looked at very fondly as coming into, because like literally all the writing on the front is all Spanish. Everyone that works there barely speaks English, and he said that they were wanting him to go. Bye bye.
Well, there's one
Big white guy.
where these are volunteers who donate their time.
Yeah, exactly.
But all they ask is a donation of $15, but they take anybody.
It's very beautiful. I love it when everyone does that, man. I love it. It's very good for a lot of people. But anyway, so let's talk about there's so many things going on in life, but I don't want to get into something that's too heavy. What is something that you would change in the world if you had the ability to do so? And it can be anything. It can be personas, whatever. Or what if you had endless money? What would you? That'd be even a better question. If you had endless money, what humanitarian project would you direction would you put it in? And we'll start with Coxy.
Well, there are two things that I really care about, and it's environment and
Sure.
education. So I definitely think that the two things I would do is just like help with, just preserve the planet and the climate. And because I feel like that we're not just realizing what's going on and that we're just making this planet dying, but
you're talking about like ostrich with his head in the sand. That's pretty much.
I think we're not caring about that that much.
Well.
And the other thing is education, because I feel like there's so many places in the world where kids need education. And well, I mean, and in the United States, for example, it's so expensive to educate kids, but I think education is really important. So and that's where everything starts from.
And I agree, and I think that public universities should be so cheap for people that are from here that they should be able to go, and anybody should be able to afford to go to get a 4-year degree without being broke and owing like hundreds of thousands of dollars when they step out. So
I mean, there's
that should be.
People struggling their entire life for student loans, and I think that's a little bit crazy.
Because you have private universities that can cater to that, but you should have public universities that cater to everybody. If they're public and they get a ton of public funds, they should be catering to all economic levels.
Look, I come from Italy, and we have a lot of political problems as well, but at least, health is free and education is free, and that's great.
No, I agree with you. I think health should be free. I think it should be.
Yeah. So these are two things that are, really different for me.
Yeah, they're different for people that are brought up here.
I know.
Literally. I was raised by a single mom. We rarely ever had insurance nor money. And that was a constant stress she shouldn't have had to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hear you. Especially when you got kids. Kids get
very expensive.
You know what I mean? Like, and then all of a sudden your savings are wiped out, or like your kid can't get help because it's, you don't have the money. Such is life. Right? I think every other country probably has that way better than the US. Shannon, what would you do if you had endless money? What philanthropic, like humanitarian thing would you want to go after?
Well, I'm in the same boat with you guys as far as like healthcare and education is atrocious, especially here in the United States, but also, healthcare worldwide in countries that they don't have healthcare. Would love to, be able to help in those countries and help kids have vitamins and food and proper drinking water. But then education, like the education for children is terrible in a lot of places. And I'm, I live in LA, so my boss's kids, they go to school with like the Kardashians and stuff, and he's 5 and already speaks Spanish better than I do. And I'm like, well, they pay for that. They pay out the butt for education, and it's like not everyone can do that, but everyone should be able to do that. And it's
I agree with you. I agree with you. Public, especially when you're saying something is public, meaning that all of our taxes go to pay for a bunch of it, man. And then you're telling us a bunch of people that are being taxed for it can't actually go to it.
But you also here's the problem. I live in the city of Allen. Allen spent $4 billion on building renovations for all of these schools, but they're not putting a lot of that money into the educational system. They're putting into more of their how many more students can we bring in, so that way we can send them out and have more people coming in. They're just scraping by with the educational system that people aren't getting the actual education that they need.
You're saying that they're basically expanding to put more numbers, but less teacher, or the same amount of teachers with the same amount of teacher pay. They're expanding so they can just shovel more kids through,
right,
without
and
getting
people learn different ways. Some are auditory,
actual
some are visual. Yeah, I mean, they're not catering to, how do people learn?
No, they're just shoving through like an automation.
Yeah, and they're spending more on buildings than they are on people in their education.
Yeah. It's also
teachers get paid woefully too low. I mean, personally, yeah.
Yeah, well, what also bothers me is like they don't teach how to handle like emotions like in a child. And,
yeah,
like,
in real life stuff.
How do you deal with situations? You're teaching them other stuff that that aren't as beneficial, or health care, like learning as you're older, like proper health. So there's stuff in my 20s I learned about my body that I didn't even know could happen. And it was just like, why are we?
I think they probably expect though that some of that should be on the parents to teach you to.
I mean, my parents didn't know about it. Like some of the stuff, they're like, "Mom, did you know this is a thing?" What? No. And it's like, yeah, I guess it's a thing. Like, thank God for Google nowadays, because you can look stuff up. And it's like, this is stuff, I don't know. I feel like, especially women, got
Well, I'm the only one here that grew up without all the Google and internet. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up with none of that. Didn't come. Internet didn't come around until I was like, wow.
It was 80s.
24 or something. What is it?
It was in the 80s when they came out with
No, it was like late. No, it didn't really become common for everyone to access to like early 90s or something like that, man.
Even
late dial-up.
Yeah, maybe later, because I think I had my first email, and it's the same email I still have right now in 97. And that's the same exact email that anybody that emails me is emailing to. Now, granted, I have to have the spam filter all the way up. But no, seriously. Okay, so let's do something else here. What is something you guys are gonna put to action in the next couple weeks that's really intensely passionate? I want to we'll end it on this conversation, because I want you to be able to replug what's going on with you guys right now. So we'll start with Shannon. Let's talk a little bit more about Ragdoll and what that means to you and what you're trying to do with it.
Well, right now we did submit it to the Spirit Awards, so we'll hear back November 21st if we got lucky and we got nominated. That would be huge. And so we're waiting to hear back with that, and then waiting to hear back for what the news we get from AFM this weekend. And so that's
yeah, I'm right there with you on that one.
Yeah, so
so I'm not even bothering her. I'm trying not to even talk to my producer while she's there. I'm like, I'll hear it all at the end. But
yeah, exactly. So that's kind of the boat of just like patience and waiting, because you can't really plan until I won't be able to plan until mid-December, pretty much, of what next year will look like.
Well, because if it gets picked up, I'm assuming then there's probably going to be some obligations you'll have to fulfill if it's in distro and stuff like that.
Deliverables, and then marketing and PR and all that stuff. So that'll be like the main honed in focus until it's.
Yeah, and they might want you for some interviews and stuff along those lines.
Yeah, and then if
I'm assuming. And it would probably be smart of them to do if they didn't get it during the shooting of is go back and get some talkie interview type pieces from the main actors, put it on the back end or a DVD or whatever.
Yeah, we did get some interviews, which was good. We thought ahead at least on that, thank goodness. But yeah, so if we do get nominated for a Spirit Award, we'll go to Chicago and qualify the film. So it's because you have to qualify it before the end of the year, before 2020. So we would go there and you show it for 7 consecutive days in a major city. So we would go there and show it there.
Very cool. You could do like a little Dolomite.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that film, by the way, man. I loved it. Was such a great comeback for Eddie Murphy, man. It was the kind of role that made him famous that he stopped doing for the last decade of his career prior and started doing just kind of really stupid films that would pay him. But I thought it was a brilliant comeback for Eddie. He did amazing in that film.
Yeah, now
I remember on the when he rented the theater.
What was it? Oh, when he rented the theater.
Dolomite, when he rented the theater. Because everyone didn't believe in him, so he went and rented the theater and like blew it up. Yeah. That was great inspiration for all filmmakers, that moment right there. Mm-hmm. And then Coxy, let's talk to you about your fundraiser.
Yep.
And the passion that you got going on with that.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of passion and sleepless.
Yeah, no, I get on my homepage it gets nailed with you saying thank you to all the people that keep donating.
Yep. Yeah.
And with a photo, they come with a photo.
Of course, absolutely. There's a lot of great people out there that are donating to the campaign, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. I was happy for you.
Yeah, very grateful for that. And we still have a long way to go, though, and we still have 2 weeks to go. And what can I say? It's a lot of work and sleepless nights, and that's. But it's a great project that I've been working on for the last couple of years, and
then it's a whole. Even when you get funding, then it's a whole nother sleepless night stress of actually making it.
Yeah, and but I think this is the hardest part, to be honest. Like, as
the funding is the hardest part.
I kind of already figured out yes, but this one is the hardest part. Just to
the first major one is the hardest thing you'll ever do.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
All the shorts were difficult, but the feature is wow. That's a whole nother realm, man. But yeah, the first
one step at a time.
Yeah, the first tackle is always difficult. Well, you're doing a big budget short though.
Yeah, because it's shot on film
or something like that.
It's shot on film, so it's yeah.
Well, I mean, but you're getting anytime you talk a film getting 10, 20, 30 grand for a short film, that's no longer a short film. That's like a featurette. That's putting that kind of money. I mean, I average maybe $1,200-$1,300 per short. You know what I mean? My short film. So you're gonna, I'm sure it's gonna have enough in there. Probably what, 15, 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that.
Yep. Mm-mm. I mean, no, it's less than that. It's gonna be probably around less than 15. I think it's gonna be very condensed.
But I'm sure you're gonna throw a lot of heavy, skilled people and art.
Yes. No, I have a great team. I have to say, I have a great team, and they're very talented people. And I mean, I think that's it's just like a small piece that is very sophisticated in a way. So that's why it's a high budget short film, because every detail has been thought. And
well, I'm sure all the connections and experience you learned working as crew on actually. Mm-hmm. Union stuff like features, short TV, whatever. Those connections probably help a lot in these moments.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, and it's yes, and crowdfunding is people, so it's just like about the crowd. So I think that it's important to get it in front of people, and and if people believe in it, then it's a project that needs to be made, and it doesn't matter how much they're contributing to the campaign. It's just every pledge counts. So
It's very beautiful. Yes, it does. And I have every faith that you will see it done.
thank you. Yeah, I'm confident too.
Yeah, just like I have every faith that Shannon will get her distro for her film, and all that stuff will be flowing forward. We have, you guys, those of you watching, we have two wondrous, brilliant, amazing, talented women on this show tonight, human beings on this show tonight. So you heard it here. Both of those projects we've been talking about will be find fruition and completion and move forward. And then Mark, at some point, in some time, in some moment, in some life, on some road, will fix his lightsaber. Well, I'm telling you, I see it. I see it, man. In fact, didn't you link me with something that said you go there and you can make this lightsaber? Whoa.
Well, I mean, you go to Ultra Sabers.
Huh?
You can go to Ultra Sabers. I mean, I broke a $300 lightsaber.
Oh.
I don't know, but I think now that I've said it out loud live, I think I need to start taking ballerina lessons.
I mean, you can go. I mean, you can take a trip.
I think. What do you think, Lo? What do you think? You think you'd like to see me do a little pirouette? 48 years old, do a pirouette. And now, granted, I will probably collapse, hurting something doing that, but still.
I mean, you could dress like Van Dyke and the quartet. I don't. That striped.
Hey, dude,
uniform he's
only
got going
on Greta Garbo Karaoke Wednesday happened, okay? So quit talking about any. It's like Fight Club. We don't talk about that, okay? Anyway, Shannon, beautiful thoughts to your getting distro and your other projects we talked about. It's been amazing having you on the show. Hopefully all the people out there have enjoyed everything we talked about it. Coxy, I have every faith that your fundraising project will float to where you want it to. We're going to end it how I used to end it, and I haven't done it in a couple shows. I want each of you to take a moment. I'm going to call you out one at a time. Look at the camera and give advice to the young you. Give advice to a young person who's trying to aspire in the same road you are, and what you would say to them. And we'll start with Coxy on this one.
Aha. So advice to my younger self?
Yes.
Well, it's pretty much the same advice I'm trying to give myself every day. It's never give up and keep believing in your dreams, and remember that as there are gonna be obstacles along the road, and but it's just obstacles, and you need to
learn how to jump hurdles.
Yeah. I mean, just try a way to overcome the obstacle and keep going. Never stop.
Yeah, and if you fall, get back up.
Of course, absolutely. And do it with love. That's my mom's advice, and I just kind of have it in my mind, always in my mind. Just like anything you do it with love, because love is a powerful force. So
it is. You got to have love and passion for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to have a genuineness. It's not going to have a depth.
Yeah.
And then Shannon, same thing to you. What advice would you give?
Chase your dreams. Don't get distracted. Don't listen to anyone who tells you no or any negatives to where you'll never be ... Just know in your heart, follow your heart. And also don't sleep the day away. I have so many friends that sleep the day away. And I did that in my 20s. And I almost wish I had someone that would get on me about not sleeping the day away when I had more energy. Because it's there's so much to accomplish, and so many you get to LA, you get comfortable and you work your job, and then that's it. You go to a bar and you hang out, or you cook dinner, you watch a show, you go to bed, rinse, repeat. And it's like, no, there's
Yeah, I always try to do something every day. All
Yeah.
things are just a bunch of little things put together. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's I hear you. Every day I try to do something, even if it's for 10 seconds that day. I try to do something that's productive towards my aspiration.
An email, a text, a phone call, even a journal, writing thoughts down, writing it all. Like there's a lot you can do, get accomplished.
No, I mean, there's even been days where Mark puts on a kind of a funny hat and a long pipe, and I lay in a couch and I talk to him about my aspirations, and Mark nods and nods and nods, and then I feel
down in a book.
great. And then I look up and I see that he had headphones on the whole time and he's listening to like Metallica. You know,
And then he gives you a bill, a large bill.
yeah. Yeah, all right. Well,
I'll see you next week. No, dreams are not going to change.
Also, I'm hearing Crew though next week, man. When I finally lift those earphones, what is it like? Smoking in the boys' room. Smoking in the boys' room. Anyway, it's been awesome, you guys. All of those that have been watching at home and are going to watch it, and as we talked about earlier, or watched it previously, or in some other realm or dream, you're going to watch it. I love all of you, and that's awesome. That's beautiful. Support both of our guests, Shannon Murray and Coxy. How do you say that entire name? I don't want to butcher that entire name.
So okay, I'm gonna reveal that. Like Coxy is not my real name. Coxy is.
No, I know that was your nickname, but
Chiara is my real name. It's you spell it Chiara. The CH stands like it's a K
like
sound.
a K.
Chiara. Yeah.
Chiara. No, but say the last name too, because that's
Rodoni.
Huh?
Rodoni.
Rodoni.
Rodoni, exactly.
Yeah, because I would have said something like American, like Rodani.
Yeah,
it would have been horrible.
It's very Italian.
Like my last name, people will try to purposely pronounce it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like Glasscock. Like motherfucker, it says Glasscock, man. It's Scottish, man. Go blame my Scottish ancestors. Anyway,
Thank you.
we'll have them both of you. Keep doing your project. Keep being beautiful. Keep being amazing. Keep being intelligent. Keep being passionate. Keep putting that love and truth in all that you do, and I'm sure you're going to find any kind of aspiration you want to find. And if I can help in any way, I am sincere about that. Let me know, and I'll try to do the best I can to accommodate whatever you need me to do. I mean, I have like only a few skills, so if it is realm, then feel free to ask, and I'll do what I can. And then Mark, ever need an acrobatic freewheeling saber person there? No, he actually won an award at AOF in writing. Him and his tag team he wrote, I think, with Alex, right? And that's the photo he got with you, Shannon. So
I got to hold the award and
holding the award, yes. But anyway, you guys, beautiful thoughts to all the people at home. You've been watching StormCrow, Dreamers, Talking to Dreamers. This is Lola. That's Mark. That's Shannon. That's Coxy. Or Chiara, however you want to say it. And then this is
fine.
me. This is me, JD Glasscock. Big love to y'all. Follow your dreams. Put the work in. Put the sweat in. If I can give you some advice, let me know. Support these ladies. Support Mark in fixing his blank lightsaber. And we will see you in another 2, 3, 4 weeks, something like that. Have a beautiful day, you guys.
Bye-bye.
nice.
Blessings to the ladies.
I'm not full of crap. Now stop.
Okay, how come when you went like this when you were saying bye, you did your like peace thing and you looked at her and you did